Hey everybody, this is Ken. We're back in my garage. We're going to do a bunch of things to the 46 Ford today. I won't film the whole process, but I'll show you the end results and I'll tell you what we're going to do before we do it. One of the first things we're going to do is we're going to put our sway bar links on. Now this truck has a really large sway bar. You probably can't see it from that distance, but I'll bring you in a minute. And it's probably going to be too much for the truck, but I won't know until I try it, so we're going to put it on. These are the stock sway bar links. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to run them down here beside the leaf spring, right onto the frame and right onto the sway bar down there. Should clear pretty good. I'm going to build a little bracket up here because if I just run a bolt through here, that's a single shear. It's likely to break, so I'm going to build a little bracket that comes out and hangs down, and then the bolt will pass through that bracket, pass through the frame here, and should be pretty sturdy. Down here, it's going to be single shear on the sway bar. There's nothing I can do about that. Oh, I want to show you something. Both of these I bought at rockauto.com. They were both clearance items. This one didn't have a manufacturer. This one is quick steer. And I'm telling you what, this thing has got movable joints in it, greased. They look like they're actually rebuildable. Looks like I could pull out the clips here. But that's a nice piece. This one's just got the regular rubber dura. I forget what the rubber is called, but it just flexes in the rubber. There's no actual joint in it at all. But this is what the stock ones are. So we'll give it a shot. See what goes. There's a right and a left. That's why they're different. They're both closeouts, so I ordered them. They're both cheap. Both supposed to be like the originals. Anyway, they're going to work great. The other thing we're going to do, put on shorter U-bolts. Also, these are squared off here on the top. The other ones I have are not square, but they're not round either. They're right in between. They're the wrong ones for the 2000 Super Duty front end. These are the correct ones, and they're shorter to go with the shorter leaf springs, thinner leaf springs. So those will go in there. I'm going to paint the leaf springs as well. So that means I'm going to take the whole front end apart again to get that painting done. Then I'll put it all back together. I'll put it on there. I'll put these on there, and then I'll show it to you. One other thing, I showed you a little bit about the track bar I was working on. That's not happening. I built them out, got it all ready to weld in there, and then got to thinking about it. You know, you usually don't use track bar on a leaf spring front end, but Ford did it on their Super Duties. They got really long springs on them. They're kind of flat, and it had a tendency to be a little unstable, if you will, and that track bar kept that front end lined up better than going without it. Now this thing doesn't have those long leaf springs. It's got much shorter leaf springs and much shorter shackles, and I don't think I'm going to have that problem. So I'm going to unbolt it, put it on the bench somewhere or in the garage, in this mess of my garage, and if I need it, I'll put it back on. But I don't think I'm going to need it. I definitely won't need it when we're going off-road, and I won't need the sway bar either. So I'm going to try to make some sort of link or some sort of mount that when I undo the links, I can put them up or hook them up or something so that the sway bar isn't just flopping around down there in the wind, because that won't work. So I'm going to get started. I'll update you as the process goes along. Let me show you real quick before we start the sway bar. All right, that's it down there. As you can see, that is going to go right there. It's actually bent really good, so it misses the leaf spring. It'll go right on the frame. Hopefully that will do the job. All right, check back in a minute. Earlier I'd mentioned about the U-bolts being different, and this is the Ford U-bolt for the Super Duty. It has a squared off shoulders up here, not rounded. This is the one I was using during the mock-up. You can see the difference there. It's rounded instead of squared. If I put them right up on there, you can really see the difference there. It's also too long. So I've got two of these in already, working on getting the other sides in. Already painted the leaf springs. painted the sway bar mounts. So we're getting there. Show you when we're done. So I got it done. So let's take a look. Here we go. Here we go. Here's our sway bar down here. Right there. It's mounted here. Runs up behind the spring. Comes up here. Mounts into the frame. The frame is double wall here. They put this is was a 2-ton truck, and it's double thickness right up to this point. So this is actually sitting in 2 thicknesses of steel here. Probably, I think the first one is 3/16 and the next one's an 1/8. It looks a little thinner. But I've got it in single shear here, and I was going to do double shear. Well, the bracket comes down here. But I have an issue right here. This is the front cab mount. And on these old trucks, they ran a bolt through, a long bolt, and it has a spring and some washers and then a nut. And that allows the cab to actually flex, or the frame to flex and the cab to move by this spring that's in here. So I didn't want to put a mount here and actually shorten my distance. I've got about 2.5 inches right now, and it takes all of that for the bolt and spring in this position. So we're going single shear. If it breaks, we'll do something different. Got the leaf springs off and all painted up, and that was fun because I ordered the wrong paint. I had a couple of things in my shopping cart, and one of the things that came in was Rust-Oleum Reform and Seal, which I really hadn't wanted. I was just comparing it to some other stuff. But I gave it a shot here. It's kind of a rubberized coating, and right now I like it. We'll see how long it holds up, but it seems to be very hard. It does feel a little like there might be some grip or rubbery texture, so we'll see how long that lasts, especially on a spring. Maybe it's the right thing. Got the smaller shackles, got the shorter shackles in there, or U-bolts, excuse me. They definitely are about the right length. There, you can see them down there. They don't hang down too far. They're not going to snag up on the rocks or whatever. This isn't really a rock crawler, but it is a 4-wheel drive, and I'm going to use it that way. So it will hit trails and that kind of thing. So that's what I've done for now. Oh, one more thing. We talked about the steering box earlier, and I'm going to need to put a plate here. Yep, the plate is here now. It is just tacked in place in a number of places, but the plate is here so that I can get that steering box in position and mount it up. And we'll see how that goes. And then we'll weld it in all the way around, make it strong. All right, well, that's it for now. I'll get back with you guys as things go along.